the guy that you know very well, JD. You know his family very well. So as we highlighted on Monday, that wide receiver room is going to be completely revamped, and many think it should be revamped, which I think you and I are in agreement with that. So most fans are hoping for a Mike Evans, T. Higgins, Michael Pittman Jr. type of guy. But for me, it's the potential cap casualties that I'm looking at. Guys like Mike Williams, not top of my list by any means, but that's a guy who's a cap casualty. But the other guy is a guy like Tyler Lockett. And then if we look at the whole body of work here, what guys I'm going to be looking for as we get to free agency when these cap casualties happen, is a guy who has already been paid, is a guy who's probably towards the end of his career. I'm not saying it is the end of his career, but towards the end, but he's already been paid and he does not have a ring. So Mike Evans, he wants to get paid. He wants to continue to get paid, and he already has a ring. So that's definitely not. And I've seen like the Jeff Darlington had a whole thing this week about bringing Mike Evans. Like, no, that's not. We're not going to spend money on Mike Evans. But so Tyler Lockett's a guy, and he fits that mold what I'm talking about big time. He's already gotten paid, doesn't have a ring, and the beauty is he's from the area. His dad played with the Chiefs. His dad, his dad very well, and Kevin Lockett. So he's got 2 more years in Seattle. But the reason why they're saying he was a potential cap casualty is he's turning 32 during the season this year, and he could be designated as a post-June 1st cut and save that team $17 million. I mean, that's a lot of money that they could save by cutting him. So that's why he's up there as far as name to watch. But while he's up there in age, Lockett has shown he can still bowl. He had 894 yards receiving this year, 5 touchdowns last season. Lockett has also had at least 1,000 yards from scrimmage from 2018 through 2022. So super consistent guy. And in my opinion, I think he'd be an ideal weapon next to Travis Kelce and Rashee Rice. JD, we talked about Lockett before in the show last year when there was a chance that he could be, when they had the Geno Smith year, when they thought they were going to kind of blow it up, but they kept him around. And now there's a chance this could actually finally happen. What do you make of a Tyler Lockett potential? How would he fit in the scheme that we have?
Oh man, Tyler Lockett. First off, I'm just elated that we're actually bringing his name up to talk about it, because we were talking about it last year, potentially of doing something like a trade or something to get Tyler here. I am 1,000% with this. If this happens, trying to get this done, I'm on board 100%. 1,000%, I said. Look, Tyler is a guy that would still take the top off the defense, has great hands tracking the football, runs great routes, get open one-on-one, you name it, zone, whatever, he can do it all. He can do it all. He's got incredible speed, an easy target to throw to. It all makes sense. This is like one of those like stories that you use as a, kind of, you write down in a Hallmark deal. Man comes home, plays for the team that his dad played for, wins a championship here. I mean, I couldn't think of any better scenario than something like that happening with Tyler coming back home to Kansas City. Really. Just remember him as a kid, and even as an adult, man, he's such a well-rounded, wonderful man, and a consummate pro through and through. Like, you can't get a better teammate or better player on your team than a Tyler Lockett. You can't. You really can't. He'll do wonders for the young guys that's in the building too. And like I said, coming back here as well from playing in Kansas State, come on, man. I mean, what more could you hope for? This can't be no better scenario than something like this happening. And you see, he's still productive. He's productive. He's 31 years old. Tyler has at least another 2 or 3 years in him.
At least. That man doesn't get hit.
No, at least. So he takes care of his body. He knows what he's doing out there, right? And so this will be just an easy scenario to me. So what if he flipped MVS's, what he's making, and give to Tyler, Shoot. I mean, you're gonna get everything you wanted. You're gonna get everything and more that you thought you was gonna get with MVS. Let me put it that way. How about that? Okay. Even more and then some. And not to mention everything else he's going to help out in the locker room, in the community, whatever else. This makes 100 total sense to me.
The interesting you said that about the salary cap. So we would save around 11.5 mil or 12 million, close to that, with MVS if we were to cut him. But the interesting part is when I was looking into this, the cap experts project if Lockett hits the open market, they project him to make around 11 million, which is like, wait, 11 million, that's almost the exact amount of money we're going to save if we are able to, if we do part ways with MVS. So I thought that was pretty interesting how that's like almost like identical to what we would save there. And it's like, wait, you mean we can get the production that Lockett gives us for the money we pay MVS? That's a no-brainer.
Man, it easy. That's easy. That's an easy choice. If I'm Veach, I'm like, yeah, absolutely. As soon as this happens, let's make it so. Let's get it done. I'm just looking over here at the picture that you got of Tyler and Kevin. Mm-hmm. That's funny. The body types and whatnot. It'd be amazing. It'd be absolutely amazing. But he'd be coming home. I mean, he'd be welcoming him in open arms. People would just love to have a Tyler Lockett. I think if you go get Tyler Lockett, then you go get maybe some other guy. Shoot, even we got Anthony Miller on the team. He's a guy that has got a lot of lot of ability. So there's things you can do there with Rashee Rice. Come on, man. Like Tyler brings up our offense immediately, like this, without a doubt. It's not even a question if he's a number one. It's not, because he was producing more than what's the name of it? Than Metcalf out there at times. He was. Times and Metcalf was supposed to be the guy, and Tyler was killing him. He was killing him. So it's not even. I don't think it's even. You already know what you got. You know what you're gonna get with Tyler Lockett. You know what you're gonna get.
Yeah, and the beauty about what you just said is the fact that it's like everyone's talking about, we'll sign T. Higgins, and then we'll also draft somebody in the second round. Say, wait. No, because we've talked about on the show a lot. It's all we need is one other guy to kind of take the load off Kelce, take the load off Rice, and you have a Lockett type who can talk about the three levels, JD, all over the field, all over the field. And that's all we need. And it's like, okay, you get Lockett. You don't need to draft a receiver high, top 3 rounds this year. You don't have to. You can maybe it's a very deep receiver class too, so you can maybe draft one in the 4th round if you want later on in the draft, and then you can actually rely on, like you said, an Anthony Miller type, or maybe we'll see what Justin Ross has in the tank. You don't really have to go get another guy because you have 3 legit receiving options now with Lockett, Rice, and Kelce. And you mentioned the fact that he can take the top off defenses. But the one thing that we talked about, and this is a kind of an underrated part of his game, is the move the chains aspect of what Lockett brings.
Yeah, well, I'm just looking right here at the comparison between him and T. Higgins, and Lockett did everything T. Higgins could do. There ain't no difference. I'm looking at him right now. T. Higgins' best year was 2021, 74 catches for 1,091 yards. Right? Go to Locks. Let me see what his best year was. He was just like in that time. Well, he caught 100 passes for 1,054. Then the next year he had 73 catches for 1,171, 16.1 yards and 8 touchdowns. That's 2021, same year. Lock blows it out the water. So you get everything that you need in the T. Higgins, other than the T. Higgins younger. That's it. That's all. But we want this 3P for these next couple of years, 2 or 3 years. Man, Lock gonna give you 70-something balls a year. Every bit of it. Get you another young guy drafting. You set. Because you want a guy, you want a vet that's going to teach guys how to be a vet. So you're actually getting a coach also too in this. You can teach your guys. How do you even put a price tag on that? You can't even measure those things that you're actually getting. from a guy that has, this type of experience, this type of, character that he is as a man. Yeah, you're not going to get any better. I'm telling you. If that opens up, I would not hesitate to try to get a Tyler Lockett here. I would go above and beyond to get a guy like that. No doubt about it. No doubt.
Yeah.
So,
and I'd be curious if this does happen. Obviously, it's a cap casualty. That's what they're projecting him to be. And I'm seeing a comment here. I'm to Brown. The cap experts project him to be about 11 million if he hits 11 million per year if he hits the open market. So that's what projecting him to be. And we also talk about the element of coming back home, not having a ring, being 31, going on 32. It may not be 11 million a year. I mean, he may take a discount to come home, maybe play a 1 year or 2 year deal. I mean, that's the thing. It's like everyone wants the younger guys, the Michael Pittmans, the T Higgins of the world. Yeah, obviously, but you're gonna have to pay up primo for those guys, and we're not doing that. We're not doing that.
They're gonna cost double of what Lockett is making. Hey, maybe 3 times. Ain't nobody trying to do that for what? And you're not gonna get the type of caliber a guy and character and experience that Lockett has. I'm looking at these years, man. He's still producing.
I know.
In 79 catches, he had 894 yards, which is a down year. That was it on the yards. But he still had 79 catches, 80 catches. Come on, man. That's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer to me. I mean, really. So,
especially if people are trying to say that he's going to cost too much, well, they need to look at what MVS was making and say, hey, tell me if those stats match that contract. Well, but if this does happen, we need to get his father on the show to talk to us about where Tyler's head's at right now. But, well, we'll see with that. But yeah, I think ideally, if you talk about a receiver that we need, forget the names. Ideally, a guy who fits what we need, Lockett would be that. Like his game would be perfect for what we need.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about his hands. You don't have to worry about deep balls. You don't have to worry about anything. That's not the question. It's not. So the only knock would be his age, and he's still producing. So he's still producing at a high level. Like you said, he's not taking hits. He's not getting hurt. This is almost like the same thing with the question on D-Hop. We couldn't use him. We definitely should have used D-Hop last year.
Yeah.
It brought the same element to the game in the locker room, to that wide receiver core. But, we managed. We got through it. We don't want to do that again this year. Mm-hmm. You want you a guy that is a number one. Tyler Lockett is a clear number one. It's just, ain't no question. He's number 2s and 3s. Oh, Tyler Lockett is the number one guy. Okay. So.
And 2, yeah, the point you made about having a veteran in the room, it's like you don't want. Let's say we do, we're probably going to get rid of MVS. He's gone. So the elder statesman in the room is Rice. I mean, come on. And then people want us to draft a receiver in the top 2 rounds. Come on, you have to have a guy in the room who's been there and done it. Otherwise, create the drop production and receiving core pressure. JD, do you want to answer that question?
Bring it up. Yeah, different question. But why this discussion came up? What created the drop in production in the receiving core? Pressure, called the big head. It could be a number of things. Okay. I don't think pressure when they started dropping the football, without a doubt. I think pressure was one of the significant things that happened. Called the big head. It could have been some things there as far as like sometimes when you have a lot of experience or you feel like you've been in the league for a few years, you don't feel like you have to work as hard. Okay. And maybe some bought into that, smelling them own selves a little bit more than what they were. And that happens because you don't go back to doing the things that got you there. You got to do something above and beyond. When you start doing that toward the end of the season and you can see the production, you see how things changed. But I think a lot of it happened. It could have been some immaturity there, some growth that happened where people weren't being held accountable. And that's where that takes the coordinator. I'm sure, Embry was doing a good job to say, convey to get these guys out here. But that's where EB was coming in, and he was getting on those guys. He get on those guys if they want to do something. And if you have, a young coach trying to establish himself, it's always going to be a challenge when you have guys that's been there in the room before, trying to insert your position in a sense, in a way. But they get it all squared away. They figured it out. But I think a lot of it is under Brown right there was a little bit of pressure, caught the big head, and maybe didn't work as hard. Possibly that could have been it. But once they got on the same page, man, it's all it takes. Sometimes it just takes some things, some tweaks here and there. Okay, and they finally got it done.
Yep. Seeing a question here for HD Dreamin'. What's the dead cap for MVS? His dead cap is $2 million. His cap hits 13.9, so that would mean we would get about 11.9 million back if we were to cut him. So yeah. So it seems like a no-brainer if Lockett does become available. It's just pretty much, and that's the thing. It's like not like, oh, we're creating space for that. No, it's literally MVS for Lockett kind of swap if the projection for Lockett is correct on 11 million per year. And yeah, I mean, he's coming back home and he's playing for a championship now. So it's like he's going to solidify something. And I think for most of these vets who don't have a ring, you're going to come to a place where you can actually compete for a championship when you've already made your money. It's the twilight at the end of your career. And the one thing I love about Lockett, JD, and you played amongst Torrey Holt and stuff. The one thing I love about Lockett, which reminds me of Torrey Holt. Remember how Torrey Holt never took any hits? He caught a pass. If he knew he wasn't going to get an extra yard out of that, he was go down with it. I mean, that prolonged his career. That's prolonging Lockett's career.
That's true. That's what happens.
That's a savvy bet.
I hate, what? I get it. It's a business decision. But I hate seeing guys go down. I want to see a guy run over somebody. Right? I want to see that. I do want to see that. And, guys, but, it's not back in the day like how we were doing it. You get a guy in the wide receiver trying to run over somebody. Now, Rasheed Rice was doing it.
Yep.
But we start seeing Diggs and those little dudes catch the football. Somebody come in, they get there real fast. I'm like, oh, you a scaredy cat, you? Take a hit. Run over somebody. Right?
That's a long career, JD.
I get it. No, look, I get it. I understand. I'm just, me. I'm trying to be a wrecking ball when I'm out there. So
yeah, you're old school.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.